Right now, your body is running a system so critical that if it shuts down completely, you will start hallucinating. Your organs will begin to fail, and eventually, your own body will try to kill itself just to make you stop. This isn't a virus. It's not a disease. It's something you do every single night without even thinking about it. This is what happens to your body, hour by hour, day by day. If you never sleep again, you will spend roughly 26 years of your life asleep. That's a third of your entire existence spent unconscious, doing what looks, from the outside, like absolutely nothing. But sleep isn't nothing. It's your brain physically cleaning itself, flushing out toxic proteins that build up while you're awake. It's your body repairing muscle tissue, locking short-term memories into long-term storage, and resetting your immune system from scratch. So what happens if that switch never gets flipped again? Let's count the days, and I promise you, by the end of this, you'll never look at your pillow the same way again. Day 1. You feel it almost immediately. That heavy, foggy pull behind your eyes, like your skull is filling with sand. Your reaction time has already dropped. Research shows that staying awake for 24 hours straight impairs your coordination and judgment about as much as being legally drunk. Your body starts flooding itself with cortisol, your primary stress hormone, desperately trying to force you to stay alert through brute chemical willpower. Meanwhile, your immune system quietly begins to weaken in the background, and your brain starts doing something genuinely strange. Microsleeps. These are tiny, uncontrollable blackouts, lasting only a second or two, where your brain forcibly takes itself offline, whether you want it to or not. You might be standing up, talking, even walking, and for a split second, you simply aren't there. You're still functioning on day 1, but the damage has already begun, quietly, underneath the surface. Day 2. The fog thickens. Your ability to concentrate on anything for more than a few seconds starts collapsing. Simple math becomes difficult. Conversations start slipping away from you mid-sentence. Your body temperature begins to fluctuate slightly as your internal thermostat, which relies on consistent sleep cycles to regulate itself, starts drifting off course. Your appetite changes too. Many people report intense cravings for sugar and carbohydrates because a sleep-deprived brain desperately searches for any quick source of energy it can find, and your emotional control is fraying. Small annoyances start to feel unbearable. You're not yourself anymore, and it's only day 2. Day 3. This is where it stops being merely uncomfortable and starts becoming genuinely dangerous. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and rational thought, is now severely impaired. You're irritable, paranoid, and your emotional regulation is essentially gone. Then, the hallucinations begin. Not dramatic, movie-style hallucinations at first, but subtle ones. Shadows that seem to move wrong. Shapes flickering at the edge of your vision that simply aren't there. Some documented cases describe the walls appearing to gently breathe in and out, like the room itself is alive. Your immune system has weakened so significantly by this point that you're now far more likely to get sick at the exact moment your body has the least ability to fight anything off, and your coordination has degraded to the point where simple physical tasks, things you'd normally do without thinking, start requiring your full, exhausted concentration. Day 5. By now, your body is entering a kind of quiet rebellion against you. Full sensory hallucinations become common. Some subjects in sleep deprivation studies have reported seeing insects crawling across their own skin, despite there being nothing there at all. Your speech starts to slur, not because you're impaired by any substance, but because your own brain is now essentially poisoning itself with metabolic byproducts that sleep is supposed to clear away every single night. Your blood pressure becomes unpredictable, your blood sugar regulation starts to falter, and perhaps most unsettling of all, your perception of time itself begins to distort. Minutes can feel like hours. Hours can feel like they never happened at all. Day 7. 1 full week without sleep, and your body is now in open physical rebellion. The hallucinations are no longer subtle flickers. They're full, immersive distortions of reality. Your immune system is critically weakened, leaving you extremely vulnerable to infection. Your body temperature is destabilizing more severely now, swinging in ways your brain can no longer properly regulate. And here's the part almost no nobody knows. At this stage, your body starts trying to force sleep onto you anyway, whether you consent to it or not, through microsleeps that grow longer and longer each time, regardless of whether you're sitting, standing, or even driving a car. Day 9. We are now deep into territory that very few humans in recorded history have ever willingly reached. Cognitive function has collapsed to a fraction of normal capacity. Paranoia can shift into full delusions. Some subjects in historical sleep deprivation research began to believe people around them were imposters, or that they were being watched and tested, even when nothing of the sort was happening. Physically, the body is now under extreme strain. Inflammation rises throughout the body. The heart works harder, less efficiently, and less predictably, and still, astonishingly, some people have pushed even further. Day 11. This is the longest a human has ever voluntarily stayed awake under lab supervision and documentation, a record set by a teenager in a science fair experiment back in 1964. He survived, but not without severe, temporary cognitive impairment that took real time to reverse afterward, including memory problems, mood instability, and slurred, disorganized speech. Beyond this point, we are relying almost entirely on rare and tragic medical cases, because no ethical modern experiment would ever push a human being further than this. And this is where the science gets genuinely disturbing. There is a real, extremely rare genetic disease called fatal familial insomnia, where a person's body physically and permanently loses the ability to sleep at all. It isn't insomnia in the way we normally think about it. It's a slow, catastrophic breakdown. Patients don't simply get more and more tired. Their bodies begin to fail entirely. Blood pressure spikes uncontrollably. Body temperature swings wildly, out of any normal range. The thalamus, a small but critical structure deep in the brain responsible for regulating consciousness itself, physically begins to degrade. And eventually, total organ failure sets in, not because anything external attacked the body, but because sleep, the single process holding every other system together, was permanently gone. Here's the twist, though, and it's the part that changes everything you just heard. Your body is not actually designed to let full, complete sleep deprivation happen to you. Long before you would ever reach total, permanent sleeplessness, your brain would force micro-sleeps onto you constantly, dozens of times an hour if necessary, protecting itself the only way it fundamentally knows how. Which means the real, honest answer isn't a slow death by pure exhaustion. It's your own brain fighting you every single second, refusing to let you stay fully awake at all. No matter how hard you try, it will always win, every time. Sleep isn't wasted time. It isn't a passive void where nothing happens. It's the single process quietly keeping every other system in your body from collapsing. Your brain, your immune system, your heart, your entire sense of who you are. So tonight, when you're lying there scrolling instead of sleeping, just remember what's actually happening in there while you're not looking. If this blew your mind, make sure you're subscribed.